All right, so you are ready to make and publish your very first YouTube video. You've worked out what you're going to do, you've worked out your why for your channel, and you've understood the concept that YouTube doesn't owe you anything and everything's based on merit, everything's based on supply and demand, and you're ready. But wait, now here is the thing. With any type of creation, whether it's making YouTube videos, whether it's coming up with a new business idea, whether it's coming up with an invention, you go through this cycle. And I like to just think of it as like the highs and the lows, the troughs and the peaks. And basically when you first come up with any idea, you get super excited, you're invincible, everything's gonna work out right. And then you get started, and as you start, you run into a few obstacles, the audio goes a bit weird, you're not sure that you feel secure in front of the camera, you start doubting yourself. And when you start doubting yourself, you start doubting the entire idea. So you start questioning, this video isn't really that good. I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Actually, am I cut out to be a YouTube content creator at all? Or am I doing something that I'm never going to be able to accomplish? And the problem is, at this point, you start second guessing everything. You stop your video, you go back, you try and edit it, you look at it, it's cringeworthy. You hate the way you look, you hate the way you sound, the background's no good, you're worried about the shadows, you're worried about the lights, you're worried about everything. And you're just worried about the fact that you sound really unnatural in front of the camera and you look weird. Perhaps I should have worn a different t-shirt. Perhaps I should have done my hair different. Perhaps I should have recorded at a different time of the day. Perhaps I was looking too tired today. Perhaps I should have done it outside. Perhaps I should have done it inside. Perhaps. And instead of going with the original game plan, instead of going with what you're comfortable with, instead of going with what you're knowledgeable with, you start second guessing everything. You start second guessing the fact that the information that you're providing, the stuff you're saying in front of this camera is no longer correct. All of a sudden, all the stuff you felt confident about just disappears, and you're going like, oh, what happens if I say the wrong thing? What happens if I give the wrong fact? I'm just going to look like an idiot. People are going to write really horrible comments. Maybe I should just stop. You see, making YouTube videos like this, and I'm not talking about going out and just recording stuff and never having your face or your voice on video. Making videos for YouTube like this is very similar to making a speech in front of a live audience. Yes, this is not so live. Yes, you have the ability to edit, you have the ability to reshoot, but realistically, you can't just keep reshooting, you just can't keep editing, because at some point, you're gonna have to make the decision that good enough is good enough, and then you're gonna post it. Staring at the camera when you're not used to looking at a camera and you feel all self-conscious and like whatever you say may sound weird, it may come across wrong, and you just doubt your ability to make a decent video. You know, you have no previous experience, you have no track record. You've not got a portfolio of videos where you go, well, I've made good ones before, maybe I'm just having an off day. This is your very first video and you're just completely lost. You're completely unsure whether you're capable of doing this at all. And this is where you hit rock bottom in that sense. Instead of concentrating on delivering the information you want to deliver to your audience, you start worrying about the way you look, the little twitches, the little mannerisms, and you lose your way. You completely just lose your focus. And the stuff that you plan to say, you never end up saying. And even when you say it, it sounds really awkward because you're second guessing everything. And you struggle and you struggle, you do multiple takes, you check, you re-edit, you don't like it, you dump it, you start again, you record again, you change your clothes, you change your scenery, you change your lights, you change everything, you record again, you edit again, and the cycle goes on, and eventually it gets to the point where you go, okay, I'm gonna just bite the bullet and I'm gonna put this out. You've done all the editing, you might add a little bit of background music, you're just about to hit upload and you watch it one more time just to make sure everything's good. And then, oh my God, I said something stupid. I forgot to edit this bit out. There was a funny noise in the background. I just forgot to pick it up. And look, oh, right at the back there, I saw a little bit, I saw something there. I didn't really want it to be in the background, but it's there. Should I just re-record it? And you just go into this tailspin of doubt and uncertainty. That's something every single YouTuber faces when they record their first video. So you're not alone. The only way that you're going to learn and the only way that you're going to know if you're any good at this is to actually put it out and let the audience decide. Because remember, you never say no for the audience. You are not the judge of your videos. It is the audience who decides whether your videos are any good or not. Every YouTuber's first 10 videos are cringeworthy. If I look back at some of the videos I made when I first started, They were horrible. They were rubbish. And it's not just the production value. It's the stuff that I said. It's the way I said it. And when you're nervous, you say stuff and it sounds like you have no conviction to the thing you're going to say. There's a lot of ums, a lot of ahs, a lot of pauses. Your face just doesn't look relaxed when you do it. And your audience can tell. But let me tell you the good news. Your audience isn't as picky as you think they're going to be. You think your audience is going to care what's sitting there behind you where you really didn't want it to be there, but they don't. They barely notice it. I give you an example. In a previous life, when I was a wedding photographer, I used to spend ages editing the photos because I was worried that there was a person who was kind of shouldn't have been there and I had to edit him out. There was like a hair out of place that I needed to edit out. Somebody was holding a phone during a group photo and I thought I had to edit that out. To be 100% honest with you, the people who look at your photos or your videos are more than likely not to even notice those little nuances that only the creators notice. Like you could spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes editing out that little stain on the tablecloth and no one will notice except for you. So one can ask, when does this level of confidence improve? When do you start feeling comfortable with making your YouTube videos? And when do you feel comfortable with posting the videos without all this obsession about making everything perfect? Well, the answer is very individual. Sometimes really quickly, sometimes within a couple of videos, sometimes never. And this is the difference between each and every YouTube creator. And that's why you can't ever, and you shouldn't ever, compare yourself to somebody else. You've got to work your own pace. You've got to develop your skill and your style in your own way. And it doesn't matter what everyone else does. And do you know what the good news about having really crappy videos when you start? The good news is, whilst they're cringeworthy and when you look back at them in a year or 2 years' time, and they're so bad that you want to vomit, the good news is when you first start out and you make those first 3 or 4 or 5 shitty videos, the good news is nobody's watching them anyway. And by the time you get to 200 subscribers and 30 videos later, no one's really going to care about the first one that was diabolical. And now that we agree that psychology is a big part of making YouTube videos and significantly affects your level of confidence and your perceived ability to make better videos, we just have to accept the fact that this is all a learning curve, just like everyone else. You're not perfect at anything when you first start. It takes hours and hours, weeks, months, and maybe even years of practice before you get to a level where you feel comfortable that your video quality is good and that you're comparable to all the other YouTubers out there. Sometimes you don't even ever get to that point, but you just got to persist. You've just got to make your own videos and you've just got to let the audience decide whether they want to watch your stuff or not. And whilst it's easier said than done, what you need to do when you start a YouTube channel, when you start creating content for any platform, is you got to get out of your own head. You just got to start making. You've just got to get to the point where you just don't overanalyze everything, you know. You just got to get to the point where you just want to make stuff. And as long as you're comfortable and it fits with a basic plan of what you wanted to do for that video, you just have to go with it. Like public speaking, sometimes something throws you a curveball. Sometimes somebody asks you a question that you can't really understand and you just got to have to deal with it. You just have to adapt at the time. When you speak in front of a camera, whether you have a script in front of you or not, there's going to be a requirement for you to make some spontaneous changes because it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't sound right. And you just got to go with your gut and you're just going to have to change it on the fly. And the more videos you make, the easier you'll be able to detect the need to make these changes and the easier it is for you to actually make the decision that it is the right thing to make those changes. This only comes from experience. It doesn't come naturally to everybody. And you just got to churn out the first 10 videos and see where it takes you. You will be amazed how much better you are by the end of the 10th video. You'll be amazed at how more relaxed you feel, how more relaxed you look, and how you end up not using so many of these filler words like and but, all those words where they're basically used just to buy time because you actually don't know what you're going to say next. No matter how fake you might feel, that you're not worthy and that you don't belong here, you just got to remind yourself that you do, and everybody starts somewhere. Everybody starts with 0 views, everybody starts with 0 subscribers, and everybody starts with their first video. And as long as you're improving, as long as every video gets a little bit better than the previous, and you'll get to the point where you just start adding new stuff, you try new techniques, you try new edits, you try new lighting, but that all comes with time. and you've just got to start making, you've got to start pushing them out. You've got to ignore the voice inside your head that tells you that you're not good enough, that you don't belong here, and that everybody knows more than you and that everybody's better than you. And you just got to go out and make those videos, and that's the only way for you to get better. So thank you for watching this episode. Please leave a comment below and let me know what your first video was and how cringeworthy you thought it was, and how much better you are now that you've on to your 50th or your 200th video, and how you managed to get yourself out of that mindset that you're not good enough. So have a great weekend. Remember to have fun when you make these videos, and to all the mums out there, happy Mother's Day for tomorrow. And remember to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you soon. See ya.